Hey there, everybody. Today I'm detailing the steps I took to get my first nutrition clients. We're going to dive into that. Plus, do an exclusive giveaway today. I'm super excited about. If you guys are on my email list, which I'm sure many of you are, you would know that we gave away a full version of the Nutrition Coaching Academy nutrition coaching system. There's a giveaway this morning. We had 35 people reach out, I think, within the first and gave it to the first 3 people that replied to the email, and that happened within 3 minutes, which was super, super exciting. So given that response, I wanted to do it again today. And how we're going to do that is if you interact with the live stream, ask me a question. I'm going to put your name into a raffle, and we'll raffle it off today. So that's what you got to do. Drop something in the live stream. Ask me a question about nutrition coaching, and through this process, I'll detail how I got my first nutrition clients as well. But I'm going to start the actual list here too for not the random. I always type in random name generator, and that's not what I want. Random wheel of names. Wheel of names. That's what we'll start putting there. We got two questions right off the bat, which was exciting. I got one from Len here. Len, if you're still there too, I'm going to probably ask you some follow-up questions. I'm playing with an eat, sleep, walk idea as a holistic approach for my in-person clients. Any thoughts on packaging it as a sales option? I think what you want to do with, like, let's say this is going to be a signature program that you're going to promote online to people that aren't in your in-person clients. Number one, I want to know where are these in-person clients coming from. Is this something that you already do in terms of like as a holistic nutritionist or nutrition coach, or is it more fitness-based stuff? But like, I think what you want to do and market it is like for a specific outcome. Like, are these people improving their health? Are they is it weight loss focused? Is it like, what is the result that they would want? Semi-private training, and then market it around that. In terms of like, I think the things you got to think about is, are you going to include a coaching component, or is it just a standalone program that they follow? Like those type of things, that's what you want to dive into. But yeah, there's no reason why you couldn't do that. What's important is probably giving it a name that speaks to the result that they're going to get, and therefore also makes it unique to you. And then think about how you'd incorporate coaching in terms of like check-ins, what that would look like. No reason you can't do that online, but and deliver that part online so you can reach more people. But yeah, without a doubt, I think that'd be a great idea. Sounds like you have semi-private training. Yeah, I'd incorporate. Tell me a little bit more about what you do with your in-person clients. Eat, sleep, walk. Like, what is it? What does it entail? Like, what's the recommendations? What is the guidance like? Maybe you can dive into that, and I'll give you a bit more insight around how I would do that. But great idea, Len. We're going to add you to the raffle here too. Len Smith, perfect. Amy, who we're going back and forth with email in the last few days. So nice to see you here. Amy says, I'm looking to start as a vegan vegetarian specialist. However, I'm going to market weight loss programs to anyone who is interested in eating more healthy food. I think that's a great idea. We have so many coaches in our program that take a vegan or plant-based approach, and a lot of these people still want to lose weight. They want to improve their food quality, and they want to improve their nutrition, and build some healthy eating habits. But yeah, absolutely, I think that's a great idea. Where are you going to find these people, Amy? That's the next question. And it sounds like you'd be a really good fit for our coaching program. There's details about how to get started with the Nutrition Coaching Academy in our 90-day business-focused nutrition coaching certification. Be glad to have you if you want to take that next step. I sent you an email about the details. Check that out. Emily and gardening. Emily, a long-time supporter of the channel. Nice to see you here. You got any specific questions about nutrition coaching? Fill me in. Let me know. I know you'd purchased the book in the past, and I know you dug through it. So let me know where things are at with you, and I can see where I can help here. But I'm also going to add you to our raffle here. Amazing. As always, guys, hitting that like button always helps the channel grow in advance. So do that. It helps, get new eyes on our stuff. So I'd appreciate that. Emily says, I started with a client for free, and she's eating about 1,000 calories and says she wants to lose weight. Doesn't exercise yet, but wants to. Advice. I think the best way to get her started with the exercise side of things, given your skill set, if you're not like a PT, you can give her some like walking recommendations and maybe a step goal and something like that would be super smart, as well as if there's like any like standalone resistance training programs that you trust that you could recommend. There's no reason why you can't like hook them up with that and point them in that direction. I think that makes sense. For the weight loss component, they're only eating 1,000 calories a day. Why aren't they already losing weight? Why are they struggling with their body weight when they're eating such a low level of food? Chances are they don't do that consistently. Even if they're reporting that, there's something going on with underreporting or or not. You are a PT too. Okay, so yeah, you can obviously give them specific personalized training recommendations, but I think the easiest place to start, especially with given someone that level of food, would just be and number one, I didn't know that about you as well, so learning something new today, but would just give like a step recommendation. Obviously getting them to do some resistance training is going to be helpful for them, but it might be just too much given their current energy, how much they're consuming. Energy consumption is pretty on the low side of things, but chances are they're just telling that they're reporting that right now, but they don't do that consistently. So keep that in mind. Now you start them out on something that would be like not a huge deviation from that, just because we don't want them to lose weight, gain weight, especially if they want to lose weight at the beginning. But chances are their estimations are off a little bit, 30% at least. Like maybe they're consuming more like 1,400 calories. Maybe there's like, a pizza night that just doesn't get captured or remembered or something like that. Chances are there's more calories going around. So I would just keep that in mind as I start this process and give them recommendations. So there's no reason why you still can't help them lose weight. But starting them off on 1,200 calories, 1,300 calories based on what they're currently tracking at might not be the worst place to start. See how things kind of play out. And if there's any changes, they're starting to get some results. And then as they get more experience tracking and learn more about their food, we can adjust things and maybe ends up being closer to more food overall. Len says, during sessions, I cover the basics of nutrition, getting enough sleep, and walking on days they don't train with me. But I don't have any materials that I hand out. Okay, so, the biggest thing is the coaching aspect of this stuff is that you give these recommendations and you follow up with some to see how it's going, right? So the more specific you can be based on their situation around maybe it's like a 3-2-1 program, or maybe something catchy that explains the process where they get X amount of sleep. They do this with their nutrition. They eat protein at every meal. And then they do X amount of, steps or something, right? And they do that on the days that they don't see you. Straightforward. Then you just find a way to, maybe there's a chart that they fill in or something where they report what they actually did. That's the best place to, get this stuff. That's the coaching aspect, is there's some accountability and guidance that goes into that. So maybe work that into a standalone program and something that you recommend. And maybe that's a lower ticket offer. If there isn't any accountability and feedback, maybe they just have something that they track on their own to see how well they're doing. Or you work in your own coaching to the approach with check-ins, charge a little bit more, and market that to people that can't see you in person, right? They don't see you as much. That would be kind of the way I would navigate that. Awesome. Who else is tuning in today and's got some questions? So far, we got some good ones from Amy, Len, and Emily. Emily, are you training clients currently? Fill me in on that as well. The one thing I really wanted to express today is that okay, we're all meeting on the internet right now. And I don't typically, the handful of people that are in here, I don't know you guys personally, but that's building up this community has taken years, right? And consistency and putting myself out there. for us to get this stuff going at the beginning, we don't need that. We need quicker approaches, right? Like we need things that are like some quicker wins, getting people interested in stuff. Those people are going to come from the people that are already all around us right now. So Emily says, no, I'm not currently training PT clients, but like, can you show up in the park with a kettlebell, start doing some stuff, see who's interested, show face, start a walking group, start like, you know, like these, like your first 5-10 paying clients will come from people all around you. I've only ever done free 14-day nutrition guidance in a Facebook group. That's a great place to start. Invite your friends, family, acquaintances, people from high school, you know, like things that like, hey, I'm doing this for my own accountability, like join me for this specific thing or any of those things. Like the people are going to come from your social circle. It's like, not that, first of all, using the internet to reach people. Is this live starting? Yeah, I'm live right now, Amy. Hopefully you can hear me I'm assuming I'm live because there's some interaction and stuff, but I'm definitely live. These people, they're going to like, it's one thing to think that like the people are going to reach out to you that don't know you, which they will eventually as you get more specific and build up your brand and a track record of results. But at the beginning, all these people are going to be people that you know. My first paying clients were from people that I had met in the gym that saw that I was getting leaner and I had some aspect of nutrition figured out and I had a coaching process. And I just, I showed them what I was doing, right? Like instead of just telling them that like I was a coach, I took them through the process of showing them how I could coach them and started the beginning steps of setting them up on a plan. And that's where they start to see that like I was, you know, a coach that could help them out. And I could see that like they could see that there was a path to results, right? So it's one of those things where instead, like you need to take people that already know you as the person that could help them and put some systems in place to show them how you could coach them. That's how this stuff gets started. We do that in the Nutrition Coaching Academy with the free nutrition report process. It's all about like show, don't just tell them what you're up to. A lot of us don't even do a good enough job of telling people that we're a coach that can be hired. We need to do a better job of actually showing them how that we could help them. And we could do that through a bunch of different ways. So free nutrition report is one way, but you could also do like lunch and learns. You could do presentations. You could do workshops with a specific title and stuff. I used to always give like a workshop that was like 40 minutes long on the relationship between nutrition and body composition. I gave that probably 50 to 75 times every weekend around areas, around my city, around the province that I live in. That's how this stuff gets started. Lydia says, were you coaching fitness and nutrition to them simultaneously or solely nutrition coaching? I would say 80% of my coaching business was just nutrition coaching only. But I also, as a competitive powerlifter and strength coach, did have quite a few clients doing both powerlifting coaching with me and nutrition coaching. And that's how I kind of like niche down, was helping these weight class athletes with the coaching side of things. Amy says, and I hope that makes sense, Lydia. Let me know if you have any questions around that. Amy says, Emily, just to begin, I don't think 1,000 calories is healthy for your client to be on, especially if you're trying to encourage her to exercise. I disagree. I don't think we know anything about this client. I think it's hard to say what she's currently doing and if that's truly a recommendation. There's a difference between like what someone says that they're doing and what they're actually consuming, especially if they present as overweight, is apples and oranges. It's like two different things. If she says that she's consistently eating 1,000 calories, it's like, show me that. What you don't want is to start on this client and say like, hey, based on your body weight and what you're doing, I want to get you exercising. Let's start on 1,800 calories. She starts doing that and then she gains weight and is upset with you. I'm assuming she's a she, but she could definitely, and they gain weight and they're upset with you based on that recommendation. So chances are that there's some underreporting and they're not actually consuming 1,000 calories per day. And we got to get closer to what they're actually doing. Emily says, thanks, Amy. I'll have to see what she's doing. Yeah. I mean, you want to dig into like have her track, check out her food log, see if there's some underreporting, see if she's missing like cooking oils and all that type of stuff. Like we want to dive into those things because chances are that 1,000 calories isn't 1,000 calories, is closer to 1,500. But if we just take that at face value and not do that digging around what it could be, then we add more food in, she starts following that, and things tend to work backwards. Hey, how come you never show how you eat? I show that all the time. I do a little bit more on Instagram and that kind of stuff, but I've ate like a protein oatmeal berry dish every morning that has about like 350 calories for the last 3.5 years. Typically for lunch, I have leftovers from the previous night, some sort of serving of protein, typically like chicken thighs with like broccoli slaw. And Emily was asking me this. And then like some sort of fruit source, usually carb source. And then for dinner, I think the rotation is typically like it's, obviously summertime here. So some sort of like reduced fat burger meal, like turkey burger or lean ground beef. I have 2 young kids, so we do eat a lot of like lean ground beef just because it's super palatable for them and they actually enjoy it. Tacos, homemade pizzas, those type of things. Lydia says, thanks. I'm currently doing the PN1 course and not sure whether that's enough to start coaching. Could be enough. Do you feel ready to start coaching, Lydia? That's probably the best question to ask yourself. Based on my experience with PN level 1, many graduates of that program feel like they know a lot about nutrition, but they don't know how to apply it. They don't know what that next step is. They don't know what to do next, how to coach someone. That's where a program like ours really definitely comes in handy around showing you actually how to do things step by step, building some confidence around actually coaching someone, finishing up with a practicum where you actually coach a live client and take them through that process. That's how we get paying clients. That's how we, build some momentum around our coaching. If you want to consider that, the actual link to our program, our application is in, and I got to add you, Lydia, to our raffle here, is in the description, but I'll pull it up here too. Let's pull this up. You should check it out. Here's a sales page for the program. Give this a look-see to see if that would be a good bridge into actually coaching clients. I have a feeling, though, if you're saying that and not sure whether it's enough to start coaching, you're thinking that way. Maybe you feel like I don't have that. That's usually where the place that a lot of people find themselves in. Len says, you recommend the same breakfast, same lunch, a few dinner options? I've had clients track, but it was not accurate. When I had them reduce options, we made progress. Yeah, there's, depending on who you listen to, I mean, there's entire, there's like, entire bodies of, man, I get sidetracked sometimes. Annie, I'll get to your next question in a second, but there's so many people that say like, you need a bunch of different options and variety and those type of things. I think for the most part, like people eat the same 20 food ingredients on repeats. And when we introduce too much like complexity to their meals or too much novelty or too much variation, they just get out of the process of like building habits of like, including 20 to 40 grams of protein each time they eat, including a serving of vegetables, including a whole grain source, including, a healthy fat source, making sure that all that balance adds up to daily totals that make sense for their goals and their energy expenditure and, their requirements. So yeah, a lot of times, like just getting back to the basics and eating less variety makes a lot of sense for a lot of people. It takes some of the confusion and complexity out of things. So I think that's a good idea. Amy says, I'm certified as a nutritionist. In your opinion, would I have more success utilizing an app like Trainerize to show workouts? Also, yeah, like from sample programs and stuff. There's a bunch of different ways to go about it. Like having some training software that can give recommendations and a plan would make a lot of sense. It doesn't necessarily have to be personalized given your skill set. And I think people would know that signing up, but it could be helpful there. I do think, though, I would probably just lean into the nutrition side of things because so many people can make considerable progress just focusing on their nutrition while doing what they can or enjoy for exercise. So I'd probably, if I was in your situation, I probably would just lean into just nutrition. I didn't put that up on the screen, but here's the question there. What other questions you guys got for me? Remember, you ask a question, you're going to be put into our wheel of names here for the giveaway for the entire Nutrition Coaching Academy coaching system. The tracking sheets, the scripts, the forms, how to get testimonials, all that stuff. Lydia says, so make sure you ask a question and we'll go from there. Lydia says, how important is it to pick a niche within nutrition? When you get started, not that important. You should just focus on helping the people around you that want a result and coaching them through that. As you get more experience and start trying to build an online brand and dive into that, it's going to be easier for you to stand out and become known to a certain group of people by niching down. So at the beginning, not important. As you get more experience and want to charge more and want to pull in clients that don't necessarily know you, it becomes more important. There's so many ways for us to niche down and get specific with who we help through the demographic, through who they are, through their story, through those attributes. So as you get going, important, but at the beginning, no. Hope that makes sense. I've also, Lydia, I'm not sure how long you've been in the community and followed this channel, but I have many videos on niching for when you're ready. So definitely check that out and kind of go from there. What other questions you guys got? Amy says, I'm looking to get my clients initially from local Facebook groups until I have extra income to market to vegetarians. Also, hoping to set up a flagship nutrition program for people looking to move to a vegan vegetarian diet. Yeah, so at the beginning, check out Facebook groups where people are. See, the thing with vegan and vegetarian diets is you do want to. There's people thinking about becoming more plant-based, and there's those that are already plant-based or vegan and vegetarian and looking to optimize. Right. So it sounds like you're going to be at the people that are thinking about being more plant forward. So then I'd also start to look at Facebook groups that cater to that demographic, see what questions they're asking, engage with them there, but also create your own content based on what they're asking and what they're doing. And that should allow you to position yourself as someone that's helpful and a coach and someone that can support them through that. And go from there. People are going to say how important is it that I, pair beans and rice to complete my protein sources as I go vegan, right? And I would just say then I create content on those questions and then kind of go from there. Do I have to be worried about any deficiencies as I eat more plants? Stuff like that. You create content on it. The number one thing you need to be worried about if you're moving towards a plant-based diet is developing deficiencies because you're no longer eating meat. Here are 3 ways to do this. Here are 3 ways to overcome that. Here are 3 ways to, build through that. That's how I'd start that stuff. And there was Amy's question there. What else you guys got? So far on the actual raffle, I got Len, Amy, Emily, and Lydia. Let me know in the discussion there, and I'll add you to our raffle. Gonna hang out for a little bit longer here, guys. If you have any questions, make sure to drop them in the chat. That's what will get you included in the raffle, and I'll find a way to get this over to you. Once I do the raffle and make the selection, you're going to need to send me an email at marc@nutritioncoachingacademy.com. And I'll get everything over to you once I pick the winner. But there you have it right there. Who else has got some questions? If you guys want more details about our program as well, make sure you check out that page. I'm going to put it up on the screen here too, but you can find it in the chat. You can also find it in the description, and then we'll go from there. Any other questions? I know sometimes they start to pop off right near the end. I'm going to close it down soon. If you're just tuning in, drop a nutrition coaching question in the chat. I will address it. You'll also be included in the raffle here for our entire nutrition coaching system. Remember, we had like 35 people reach out this morning. It was like bonkers there with the replies. Lydia says, any books / documentaries that have been important in your nutrition coaching? Yeah, I would say one of my favorite books is The Muscle and Strength Pyramids by Eric Helms and Andy Morgan and Andrea Valdez. But you can download or check it out. The Muscle and Strength Pyramids. There's nutrition and there's a training focus. That's had a huge influence on me. I think I'm on Andy Morgan's email list. He's got like a client-facing business. I love his emails. And then Eric Helms has been probably one of the biggest influences on me as a coach, just a very well-rounded, intelligent coach that's research-focused and really, really good. And if you have this one too, this guy is a bit of a smart aleck, but if you're looking to start nutrition coaching, that's a good one. What is your strategy for Instagram? My strategy for Instagram is trying to understand who it is that I help, which are new and aspiring nutrition coaches, create the right coaching systems and business strategies so they can land clients, and then create as much content on that as I can on Instagram. Every day, you'll see me post a video and a carousel and a Twitter style post on Instagram, as well as make sure that I'm tackling different styles of post throughout the buyer's journey. So I'll make sure that like one of my posts has to do with like a problem that you're facing right now. One of my posts could be a video, could be a carousel, is going to talk about a solution and how to do that. I'm going to post some testimonial content in there as well. And then I'll do a direct call to action around the thing that I'm promoting. And I do that like daily, all 4 of those things. I'll make sure that I have a call to action that lines up with the type of post and that type of stuff. And then I repeat that on a daily basis. I review everything to see what is performing the best, work that stuff in or make new versions of it again. And then I go from there. And that's how we create a social media machine around this stuff. But you should also be looking at what your competitors are doing and who's doing things well, because success leaves clues. Build off some of the stuff that they're doing well. But these are all the things that we do to create a nutrition coaching strategy. You want to make sure, though, you're also speaking to like people that don't know you yet. You're speaking to people that are already in your community and making sure that you're giving them enough reason to continue being in it. And then you're giving opportunities for people to work with you, right? And kind of go from there. Yeah. Does that help, Len? We have a social media course for nutrition coaches called the 5 Client Formula. Could definitely be something that you might be interested in. Send me an email if you want more details on that. What advice would you give to a medical student who wants to enter the nutrition and health coaching space? Great question. Are you going to continue on with medical school? And if so, I would make sure, like, obviously you're working through PM level 1 right now, but if you want coaching clients, there's no reason why you can't do some of this stuff on the side as you go through school. For starters, I was coaching clients as I was finishing my PhD in human nutrition. So you could keep it up. You just want to make sure that you have like a dialed in coaching system so it doesn't take all your time, which is where a program like ours comes in. It's exactly what we teach you. So I'd make sure that like so much of this stuff takes a lot of considerable amount of time, energy, and effort to figure out. If I wanted to make sure that I could get clients and coach them in as limited time possible, I'd reach out to people that are already doing it and go down this path and join a program and follow someone else's way, because that's what's going to set me up for success. That's what I'd be focusing on. Cool. Glad that's helpful, Len. All right. Any other questions for today? I'm going to do this. This giveaway. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. It's going. Oh, a longtime supporter of the channel. You don't know if you've done anything in the past. Congratulations, Emily. You're a winner. Why don't you send me an email and I'll drop this in the chat too. Marc at Nutrition Coaching. I didn't think you've won anything in the past, and you've definitely, number one, supported the channel, and number two, showed up on a lot of these lives. So when you say yay, finally, it's like, yeah, I totally agree and get it. So yeah, send me an email at this address here, and I'll get that over to you, and then we'll go from there. And we can chat a little more about your test client as well. Is there any other questions for today? This is, man, like 40 minutes just flies by. We sit here and chat and have fun. If you want the easiest, most effective way forward with your nutrition coaching business to get the support and guidance and business strategy, like if you find this kind of conversations helpful, just think about what having a conversation with me each and every week and our coaching team would do for your business. And that's what we do within the program. And there's never been a better time to do. I do these lives about every 2-ish weeks, but we do seminars within the program on a daily basis. So Lydia, check that out. But yeah, join the program. The application is in the description. If you have any questions about it, let me know, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Chat soon, guys. We'll leave her there for today. Thanks, everybody. Bye. Now, as great as all those tips are, maybe you're still wondering how to start or grow your nutrition coaching. Here's what I want you to do. Go to the first link down in the description below, and you'll get all the details on our Nutrition Coaching Academy certification. It's a 90-day program that'll give you everything you need to start nutrition coaching or to take your nutrition coaching business to the next level. Check out all the details down in the link below, and thanks for watching.